recording of the keep on going, yeah. But Kevin's 1, 2, 3, you're on.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and you are good.
Alright. We can shift over a little bit. I moved the table, so.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Come on in here.
Okay, and I'll get you.
I got a weird shirt today. Doing, making the webcam go crazy.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Ooh, spooky. This is my spooky shirt.
Mm-hmm. On theme.
On theme, as the lady just said. We didn't hear her. As we're going, we like these themes. So, yeah. We're getting on here. As you see, I'm just kind of filling a crack here. And we'll get going here in a short bit. Just to see what I'm doing here. When I rolled out a slab on the slab roller, there's a big gap. And so I just filled in this gap with some clay. Now I'm just going to level it out before I start compressing. Try to make it as even as possible. There we go. Hello, everybody. Indiana. Can't. Now that we're kind of going here, can't start without mentioning all the people affected by the hurricane. We're really our hearts and prayers are out for you. I can't stop thinking about it, and you know, we have some pretty close contacts in the area in the Asheville, North Carolina area. Specifically, I know there's other areas too that are being affected, but yeah, our good friends over at Mud Tools and High Water Clay, and yeah, so I haven't even really heard anything yet from High Water Clay. I'm sure they're in the middle of a battle, and yeah, so just want to know that we're thinking about them and trying to figure out ways that we can support them without kind of hindering their progress. So I know they're strong, they're a great community there. I get to witness it firsthand. Good family as well. So yeah, so but I think that's why we need each other, because tragedy is right around the corner for all of us. So unfortunately, it's North Carolina and the other surrounding areas now. So hearts are heavy, and just wishing you all the strength and the comfort that you can have in this time. So definitely, I know there's so much support happening there, but reach out to any of us if you need us. So yeah, I know you're probably not watching this that are affected by the hurricane. They don't even have power or water, but anyway, just wanna. It's a collective group. The clay community is pretty strong, collective together. So yeah, so carry on. You will. You're gonna make it. So be strong. All right, everybody. Raining in Seattle. Let's see. Afternoon in Texas. In Doha. Is that India? Yeah, good to join us. We have we're kind of working with Jessica from ClayShare this month. So if you haven't seen us over there, you can go check that out on ClayShare. We're kind of sponsoring the month of October, doing a kind of a spooky month. And Delaney's making some fun graphics for to kind of go with that. And so we're Qatar, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, duh. Yes, yes, yes. Well, thanks for being here. It's a long ways away. Your region too is also not probably close to you, but part of the world is in problems as well. Yes. Oh, Jane, you're gonna be at Pot Glaze. Good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I haven't been there yet. I haven't really spent much time in England, and I'm going to be there in about 2 weeks. So, yeah, not far along at all. Yeah, a couple weeks exactly. 2.5 weeks maybe till I get to the UK. Stopping first in Ireland and going to visit Scarva, which if you're in that part of the world, they're really seem like a really wonderful distributor. So hoping to go see them, see them face to face. So I look forward to that a lot. So yes, Baton Rouge. I know there's a good supplier there. Creative Crafts, Mr. Chris and his wife. I got to visit there last October, about now actually. So unfortunately that's not on my list, but that's a great place. If you're looking for good supplies, check out Creative Craft. La Jolla, oh man, I was hoping to make it to La Jolla. I came really close, but it was kind of a foggy morning, so I was like, no, I'll just go to a different area. But I love La Jolla and the Seal Beach, what's it, Kids Beach. I love to watch but I heard it's really stinky right now as well, so that was another part of it. Yeah, turbulent part of the world, yes. And then you don't know a place that's calm these days. Yeah, right? Yes, feels like a lot brewing, huh? So, yeah. So, let's get to this little bowl we're going to make here. And this is turning the lemons into lemonade project. And what we're doing here, I'm using this brown clay. It's a speckled buff, and I really like how it kind of works. It's a little on the dry side for some reason for this little batch I have here. But what it's going to turn out to be is I'm going to put a white glaze on there. It's going to be speckly. So that is the project. So this is kind of a little bit what we're going to make here. Is we're going to make a hex stack, and we're going to turn it into a cobweb hex bowl to put all your candy in if you're doing trick or treating, or it's just another good way to just show you some ideas of how to use the stacking forms to make bowls, basically, right? So what I'm going to do here, get a board and a banding wheel. So now I compress the slab on one side here, right? Nice and packed clay particles. A lot of times I have a hard time using these banding wheels, but we're going to go for it today. And then I'm going to use the hex stack for this particular project. And I'm going to use the 5-inch, 6.5 inch, 8-inch, and 9.5 inch. And I'm going to put those around on this board. Then I'm going to just layer them together. And you know me, I don't really like to put anything on the boards. I heard a newer one strategy that Christina likes to use. We're using Amico, I think it's latex. I think it's used for like making molds. But then you take a little bit of that and water it down a little bit, and then you place it in between the forms and squish them together. And then in like minutes, oh, there's Christina there, but then you can remove that pretty easily from the forms. Oh yes, Christina made me some baklava, and I forgot to say it last time when on the other day, but my nephews and nieces really loved it too. So and their parents. So I shared. It was very they really loved it. So thank you, Christina. Yeah, next time enchiladas. That's right. Sounds good. Peggy's in Pittsburgh. Hi, Peggy. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're the state with the Great Lakes around it. It looks like a mitten. So we live in the mitten portion. So everybody says, "Where do you live?" In Michigan. And you point. So we're kind of close to the western coast. But yeah. Okay, can you start now? All right, Michael, you're waiting. I got all day, Michael. Start your engines. So, I'm not putting anything in between there. I'm just going to drape it over top. Sorry you can't see. But just drape it over. Now you can see just a peek. But I'm just going to kind of start to gently push down on this clay. And it's nice to use a little bit nice wet fresh clay. And yeah, kind of slowly, gently kind of press down those folds. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of fun. This is probably where that seam was that I added clay. And now it kind of opened up. So we will address that. You know me, I like these problems that occur. Because they're not problems. It's clay. We can fix it. Yes, Michael, you can just go have your lunch. Go fill a few orders, come back, and then you can watch recording and you can put it on hyper mode. I know, he's just heckling me. It's all good. That's good. I like that. Good heckle's good. Lost you. I'll give you some problems. Yeah. Tell us your problems. That's why we're here. Fix problems. To me, I don't believe in creativity. I believe in problem solving, and finding a way. You got to find a way. And if you give up, then you're never going to find the way. And that's really clay is one of these materials where it's all about that. It's all about problem solving. It's all about getting at it. And so you can see I'm just kind of gently working the clay into the forms here. And we can see that big opening, and I'm just going to leave it. Who can tell me I'm going to, I don't know, I was going to offer a prize, but I guess I can't do that. You can have all the candy you want if you come here. But what is the worst thing you can do when fixing this? Adding what material to that spot is the worst thing you can do, in my mind. Anybody have any ideas? Yeah, I know, yeah. You'll never forget about that, Christina. She's the RD2 stealer. Card stealer. I love it. I'm just happy that I had it back. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, you can see water! Christina wins. She must have been in my demo. Yep. Water. You don't want to use moisture. You want to use same moisture content clay and just jab it in there. See how you can see how doing that with the overhead there? Just jab it in there. Fill that gap. Because it's stressed is why it opened up like that. So we got to add some more support to it. Work it in there. That's what's good about having those forms on behind there, is that it will have that support while we add that clay in there. And we're probably gonna have to add some clay on the other side as well once it's kind of flipped over. But you get the idea here, right? And if I can, I want to try to work upwards too, because it will eliminate that stress, because the stress is going downward. So if I can push some clay up and pack it upwards, then it's going to be a lot better off. All right, so there we go. I got that hole filled. Yeah, don't add water. Water, exactly. Water, water, water. That's the easy thing we want to first do, right? Is add water and moisture. Maybe use a sponge to kind of smooth it out. Maybe try to pull clay from another area. And that's just weakening it more, really. So, and this is strictly for hand building, you know, that if we're using a potter's wheel, we're using lots of moisture. But this hand building thing is a whole different deal, all right? Different process. And yeah, it's all about that moisture content. Like, I think of this as clay is just a little dried up from I haven't used it fast enough apparently. Been sitting here too long. But it's still pretty good. It's still got quite a lot of moisture in there, but I just like it's for my patience level, I really like it to be wet, because then I can compress it really easily. I can kind of clean it up better, and I don't have to use any spritzing or sponges or any adding moisture, right? So so I understand those that like to use a sponge, because the moisture does help, but it can cause problems too. Like it can break it and start to weaken the clay in those areas where there's more moisture. It's like washing away some of the particles that make it stick together, in a sense. All right. So going down against this edge, I lift it up. It feels pretty good. And you know, like I said, I'm not that concerned about those seam marks on the inside, because I'm going to use those for my decoration here. All right. Ooh, hexagon RD2s. Ooh, man. I don't think so, because unfortunately, is because of the size of that angle, we would have to make a 2-inch corner to make it so it's all smooth. Yeah, so it's interesting on what we can do with those edges. And I don't think what you probably will have to do is take a round and make a hexagonal edge, or even a square. Probably the round is the best, but so you can still get hexagon shapes. It will just change the whole design of the form, so it wouldn't really fit into our series to make hexagon shapes. But I know, lots of options. I like that one. Well, thanks, Christina. I had fun that you were there. All right. So now you know how I like to use this measuring tool. So what I can do is now I can just measure where those lines should be on the inside. And because I have this kind of blunt area, I figured out I'm going to set my measuring gauge here to like an inch. So then the lines on the outside will match the lines on the inside. And it's kind of giving an idea here.
Christina asked if you've tried diamond core sponges.
I should have grabbed some while I was there. I guess I did a little bit when I was there, and they're nice, huh? But you know me, I'm not a sponge guy. I'm a hand builder. So I don't always have the opportunity to use high quality sponges because I'm trying to avoid temptation to use a sponge. Yeah, they have 3 different sizes, kind of like mud tools, the same thing. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go make one more line here. And I'm going to do something a little different with this one. That I'm going to, this outside one I'm really just making to have an idea of where to cut from. I'm just going to freehand cut in a minute here. Smidge, huh? So now, actually, I'm just going to kind of drag my finger over these lines a little bit I made so that they're just kind of subtle. I don't want to have real deep lines. So I just take my finger and go over them, kind of soften them up. Yeah. Hi, Penny. Happy Friday to you. All right. Which seems kind of counterintuitive, but now I'm going to take my this is the third one I made. I made one when I was with Christina at Diamond Core, and it was a Monday. And I didn't think there were too many edges, and then I just made one I think there's not enough. So we're going to go one in between here. There we go. So now I've kind of made all these webs, right? And then I probably will come back with, once it's been bisque fired, I'll add some iron oxide to like kind of nest inside of those lines. Give it some definition. But I love the subtleness of the craftsmanship of a spider, right? All right, so now I'm gonna go here. Maybe I'm gonna go up maybe just a little bit this time. I'm gonna try it out. So I'm just gonna make a little dot here and here. So I'm just gonna kind of make a loop to try to catch that dot and then come back to the corner. Yeah, I like that. It's a pretty good angle. And so just by having these lines here, dot, dot, kind of gives me a place to kind of cut that edge, right? So I'm just going to make a dot there that's about 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. Just so it kind of has a little bit of consistency to it. Yeah. Looking nice, huh? And then for, you know, those, you know, Michael's curious out there, like, which forms would work good for this? This would work really good with a round stack, too. So if you have a round stack, this would be good for that. Okay, I'm liking it. And I like this, I'll show you the next one in a second. I think this one has a nice symmetry of webs on the side, right? So that's the nice thing about handmade is that each one you could make a little bit different if you wanted to. So now you can go back to that one more time here. I'm going to do, so as you know, I'm just using my little foot cutter to cut some strips of clay. Yeah. So I'm trying to make enough of them to, once I start, I don't have to cut more. Let's cut a few more out. All right. You know, this one, don't tell anybody. Clay is a little soft. I mean hard, a little dry. So I might just score this slightly. And I think here's a good, be really careful not to add too much moisture here because that moisture is going to affect the clay and it could, I think I'm just going to score it. Give it a little extra teeth. But what I was saying is you don't want to add too much moisture on there because what can happen is that that moisture starts to soften the clay underneath there, and that becomes a stress point. So when you're firing or when it's drying, it starts to crack in that area. Yeah, you can see now because it's on an angle when I cut it. See that angle I cut? Well, it fits nicely over here if I keep rotating it around. So, work smarter, not harder, right? So, using that cut to my advantage. I'll come back and compress those slabs a little bit more. So now I'm going to cut a little bit of an angle because of the hexagon here. If it's straight, we don't have to worry about that. So I'm always amazed on how there's always little subtle differences depending on all these factors, right? So this factor is the shape that's causing the difference in the process. Squishing it down in there. Now I can kind of shape the edge by cutting it off. And see, we want to make sure we're kind of squishing that clay against it without kind of missshaping the bottom. All right, I'll come back here. Let me get this out of the way so it doesn't get caught. So then I'll come back with my modeling tool here. And well, Christina says you finished the inside. Yeah, so it should have those seam marks. So once it's, I'm gonna hopefully show you here in a second with the other one that I made. And you can see this part here is kind of cleaning away the clay and then also making sure that it's really well joined right there.
Penny asked if you're coming to the North Carolina Pottery Conference in March.
Ooh, maybe. I should, huh? If you don't mind sending me some information, I think I might have it, but just to double check, you know where it's going to be? Because I'm thinking about skipping, kind of need a year off from Alabama clay, so I may come to North Carolina one instead. I think it's, I want to say Nsika is kind of late this year, so, or it's a weird date, so I'm assuming it won't coincide, because definitely have to go to Nsika.
Christina's got a few good questions too. She asked if you finished the inside of the bowl already, and would you use a 1/2-inch spacer to push down the rim?
Yeah. See, you're getting ahead here, Christina. You know. The other one, see, everything is you want to kind of just make observations and try to, if you just figure out what you don't like and then just do that differently next time, try something different, that is how the best way is to kind of hone your craft to be better. And so what happened is, this is, like I said, the third one. So the first one, I did what I'm doing now and kind of smoothed out the edges, and I'm like, it took a little while, and then I came back and smushed it down again. So I'm like, second time I'm like, oh, maybe I don't have to, maybe I can do that all in one session, and that's why I did the second one. And then it didn't work like I thought it was going to work, so now I'm going back to kind of rounding this edge over just a little bit and compressing the clay a little bit on the edge. But I try not to spend too much time on the outside edge, because it's a good chance when I flip it over to make it all balanced, I am going to change it anyway. So, all right. So now I can just remove this from the bat here, and as Christina was saying, you could use a 1/2-inch spacer. Spacer, 1/2-inch, but I think I want a little more depth, so I'm going to just use a form and just kind of give it a little more, because these outside edges are like 1.5 inches or more, so I don't know, I think, and it's kind of a nice bowl shape, so just pushing that, and I want to push towards the form as much as possible, so it doesn't cause stress on the clay on that seam area there. Try to eliminate stress. That's our whole idea, right? With making clay and using clay, no stress. We want to avoid the stress. Yeah, so now this kind of gives us a nice, nice even arc. Nice even arc on the edge there. What do we got here? Let's see if I can figure this out. Kind of creates a nice angle. Sorry, bad hand motions, I guess. All right. So And now I would let this dry until it's leather hard. And, you know, and I might spend a little more time before and have impatient Michael watching. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it is here for now. So we'll set this off to the side.
Christina's making one today with her grandson.
Oh, right. Just moving the clay out of the way here a second. Sorry, Instagram, we still got kind of a cutoff angle up there, don't we? Alright, so here, ooh, it's pretty good. So it's you can tell, like, typically it's in really good shape if the forms just fall out. But I was cheating in this little first one here. Is of course I waited too long to make it, so I used a fan and I put it on my wheel here, and yeah, you can see I just had a round spacer or former there, so you can see how it's got that nice edge. So here's a good point where, depending on how firm the clay is, you could either carve, like use a backtail diamond core. You could use a carving tool to carve out the clay, but you know me, I like this just this modeling rib or modeling tool. For me, it's like a pencil. You could even use I've used in the past a ballpoint pen too, like I'm gonna add one to the rim here too. Pen works really good. If you want to define those edges a little better, a little more, I think those lines just do great things for, you know, and obviously when we're typically making something that's kind of distracting, because they're so effective of catching the glaze or doing its thing. So yeah, liking this. Oop, I missed a couple. Line in the middle. Yeah, go around, kind of keep. Looks like a couple areas I might need to soften it up a little bit. Sometimes you can, in this particular case, we could wait till it's even a little, clay is a little stiffer to kind of clean that up. Because I could start to make some burrs here. So I want to come back, clean up those burrs when it's a little more dry. But we'll clean up a couple just for now. Yeah. So it just depends on if the clay is getting smeared to another location. I might not want to deal with that until it's really firm, or I'm imagining that when I use a trimming tool, yeah, it causes a little vibration or does other stuff. So it just you got to find that right moment to fix those things. And that's a good thing about making lots of stuff. Just make a lot of stuff, and you'll figure out really fast what works and doesn't work, right? Now I can kind of clean up this edge with my rasp. And you can see how this spider web isn't quite as symmetric. I like the one I just did a little better, but somebody might like this one too. So, oh, March 6th. All right, thank you, Penny. I'll have to look into that. Hi, Linden, Florida. ncpottersconference.org. Okay, deal. I'll look that up. Rim look large. I'm making one today with my grandson. Awesome. Thank you, Diana. Beautiful idea. Fun. See you in October. All right. Yes. Spooky October. And definitely, I'm kind of doing some stuff over on ClayShare again. I'm gonna be doing a demo next Tuesday. So come, or Wednesday, I guess it is. Wednesday. Live at 5. Forget what it's called now. But yeah, working with Jessica in October, and yeah, I'm making a trip across the pond, see some folks, and enjoying the spooky season here. It's probably in a positive way, right? Because there's definitely a lot of spookiness happening negative way. So yeah, so I'm about finished up here. If you have any questions, put them on there. Questions that might benefit everybody.
Christina said she put you on a 50-inch TV. She loves it.
Oh, Christina. Oh, yeah. Christina, I went to, it was kind of random, but I went to Duke's Onion Burgers. They were really good. Kind of expensive, but nice local joint there in by Diamond Core Tools. Had to quick grab some lunch on the way home, food on the way home. So I missed dinner. So anyway, stop there. I don't know if you're familiar. It seemed like a nice local place. I'm sure you know about it. Probably seems like it's been there forever. So now I'm going to take my rib here, rounding rib here, and kind of clean up that edge. This I dried this out in about 50 minutes, and it's in good shape actually. Clay was a little bit firm, as I said from the beginning, but might have taken a little longer. But yeah, no, it worked out pretty good. So how I did it was I put this whole thing right on top of the potter's wheel here underneath me, and then I turned on a fan, and so it evenly blew the air against it all the way around the edge. So I feel like, you know, when I started making this on Monday, I was like, oh man, this is great. I love this. And then I started thinking, wait, did I see that somewhere else and somebody else do that? And I'm just like subliminally copying. Good, I don't know. So I think maybe I feel like I'm just now thinking maybe Clay Play in where I was in this last week too might have done it as well. So all right, well hopefully that gives you some fun encouragement to use your hex stack, or maybe a round stack. Square stack would work pretty good. So if you have those, give them a go, give it a try. If you want to make a nice lovely candy dish, serve your candy in, so you have time, get in that studio and start making. All right, kind of finished a little earlier for today, so thanks for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye now.